Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Driven Wild. Today, I want to talk to you guys about the 3 ways a customer sends an order to a DoorDash driver specifically. Now, a lot of people think that there's only one way. DoorDash driver is sent an order from DoorDash. There are actually 3 ways a DoorDash driver is sent an order, and within one of these ways, merchants have the opportunity and have been taking the opportunity to scam not only DoorDash drivers, but DoorDash themselves. So without further ado, I want to talk about 3 ways that customers send orders to DoorDash drivers. Number 1, customer goes through the DoorDash app, orders a meal, and sent to the merchant and to you. Everybody knew that already, right? The second way is through what I would call fourth-party apps. This is apps like Menufy, Chow Now, Caviar, since they bought them out, and they were their own independent company at one period of time, and then DoorDash bought them out to then gain more market share. What's a great way to gain market share? Is to buy out another business and keep the name brand up, so that way people don't even realize they're getting a DoorDash driver. Have you ever had that? Like, you get a Menufy order or a Chow Now order, and they're like, oh, I didn't even know there was a DoorDash guy. The third way, probably one of the most dishonest ways for merchants to hurt DoorDash and their drivers, but a great way for merchants to be able to build their own brand. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. But that way is where the customer orders through a specific website or app that is specifically for the restaurant themselves. That restaurant then requests a driver from DoorDash, and from that request, we get the order. This is great for restaurants because now they have the ability to request a driver when they are ready to receive a driver, instead of them receiving a driver the moment we get the order. That's the first benefit. The second benefit is that the customer is now building a relationship with the restaurant themselves, as opposed to the customer building a relationship with DoorDash, with Uber Eats, with Grubhub. Because if I'm running a business, I want people to know my name. I don't want you to know DoorDash or Uber Eats or whoever. I want you to know my name, because then you'll trust me, not those companies. With that said, however, within this third way, that there's a lot of ways that they have the opportunity to hurt drivers. And we're going to talk about the 3 main ones that you see. Number 1 is because they see the order first, they don't necessarily have to request a driver to DoorDash. Papa John's has the opportunity to provide their drivers higher tip offers. So let's say Papa John's gets a 5 pizza order that has a $20 tip. Do they want to give their own drivers that, or do they want to give a DoorDash driver that? Well, I would say they want to give their own drivers that, especially since that's probably the only reason those drivers are not focusing on other restaurants at that particular moment, or driving for apps like DoorDash, like Uber Eats, like Grubhub. We get gypped out of good orders because of that. The second way, they just drop the tip altogether. This is around here. This happens with Carrabba's Italian Grill. I live in South Florida. If you go through their website, they will drop the tip to 0. They keep the tip. We get nothing. And will they get their order out? Slowly, but they'll get out. That's not exactly the relationship I would want to build with my customers, because now it's going to take a really long time for it to get to the customer. Will it never get there? Probably not. It will probably get there in time. There are a significant number of drivers that are driving simply because they're on welfare, and they'll take lower orders so that way they can keep their government benefits. That being said, it doesn't make it right. And third and final, this is how DoorDash actually loses money. Before, the examples we gave were simply we as drivers are getting hurt. There's not as many good orders in the pool. There are more bad orders in the pool because they drop the tips to 0. Third way is probably what hurts DoorDash the most. They do not disclose the full order to DoorDash. Let's say it's a 15 or 20 or 30% cut, right? That they're supposed to give DoorDash. Now they don't. Since they go through the merchant first, let's say it's an 8 pizza order, they can say it's a 5 pizza order. Now, is that right? No. Now, me as a driver looking at a 8 pizza, like getting handed 8 pizzas, instead of 5. I'm going to be honest with you. At first, I was okay with that because, okay, 1 or 2 pizzas extra so that way the business themselves can actually make a profit as opposed to taking the whole 30% hit. I wasn't going to cry about that. Here's where I got mad. One day I go to Anthony's Coal Fire Pizza where there's a $20 tip for 3 pizzas, right? I get there. 36 pizzas, 50 wings, and 50 nuts. That's not just taking advantage of a system, that's scamming DoorDash entirely. And not to mention, if there is ever a gig worker that is not driving a car that is actually equipped to take an order like that. Not everybody has pizza bags, not everybody has catering bags, and not everybody is driving a car that can actually even hold 36 pizzas. I remember knowing a guy in New York that had a bright red smart car, and it had no back seat, no trunk room. He only used the passenger side of their car. There was no extra space outside of that. Why would you do that to that guy? Like, imagine if he just showed up and say, hey, please bring all 36 of these pizzas to this corporate office. Thank you very much. Like, what the heck is that? Why am I going through this? The only reason I wanted to talk about this is because there's a lot of questions like, oh, does DoorDash steal tips? Do merchants steal tips? Technically, it's okay by DoorDash for them to steal tips. However, it may not be okay for them to continue to steal from DoorDash and not pay them what they're due. So there may be a change in that. Now, is there a chance that they may do absolutely nothing? Yeah. I've seen Chipotle orders where they were like, oh, the merchant requested it. So therefore, we don't really know what's on the order. Just take whatever is on the name. So with that said, that's all I got to talk to you guys about. I hope that you guys found this valuable. Don't forget to smash a like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.